And your source for esports racing is finally live. We had a little bit of delay there anyway. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Full Velocity Racing Network on a very special night. It is an awesome NR 2003 challenge between our friends at Hobo Racing and the gang, old friends over at STR Racing League, and awesome to have you aboard here live tonight via YouTube live this evening for the gang over here tonight. Hobo versus STR, the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, about to come to life for 120 laps. So without further ado, Phil LaCasse and Todd Stanton are on the call. Let's do this thing trackside for tonight's command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there we have it. A good, healthy field of race cars has fired, and we got 20 of the best cars here. Mod Squad on tap tonight live on your source of esports and racing here. Todd, great to have you aboard. We had some issues getting live. I know the guys on the server had some issues. We had some issues getting the stream to go live, but finally I think all systems ready to rock and roll. How the heck are you doing, brother?
Fantastic, Phil. Just going through, showing everybody the beautiful cars out there. All the cars that are involved. Boston Red Sox here right on the screen here is just showing everybody out there what's going on. Is not sure things are not rolling correctly, Phil, here on my end once again.
Yeah, I saw a ticker. Now I don't see a ticker, so I guess you'll get you back to work on that. But the Cars Will Star is ready to rock and roll. Let's take you quick through a starting lineup. On the pole is going to be car number 41 of Josh Boyer, with the number 96 old friend Ricky LeDuc on the outside pole. In row number 2, the 31 of Jess Stakanis with Chad Barkham aboard car 50. He'll start off 4th. Herman Reeks aboard car number 73. Steve Rubino aboard car 21. Rolls off 6th with Dave Melson aboard car number 13. And Bill Kring in the 32. He'll start 8th. Danny Rubino and Fred Hill make up row number 5. 6th row, we find Rich Knappick aboard the 6th. Duke Sorensen's over 59. MT Johnson aboard the 06 rolls off 13th with DJ Hinsky aboard car number 14. Rolling off 14th. Brendan Spatafor is number 37, the number 2 of Rich Finkel. Manny Diaz aboard the 710, Larry D's 188, Rich Warden in the 07, and Matt Stern in the number 04 Machine Art 20 car field. We are off green flag racing tonight here live. Home base to be tonight, Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and already Todd in the opening lap of the race. We have a caution flag on the racetrack. Our first yellow flag of the night brought to you by our friends at Hannibal Record Service, coming out right away on the opening lap of 120 here tonight. And we'll see if we can't go back here through quick. I think we're all locked and loaded here. Everything on the stream working correctly. But it looks like issues right away, Todd, around the number 2 car of Rich Finkel. Looks like he may have had some help from behind. So we'll let Todd go through here. Our Hanover Record Service caution flag. Allow him to take a minute to go back and find our BladeNo.com Full Velocity Racing Network replay. We'll tell you about all the sponsors here we have till network night after night. A lot of people to thank, but we'll let Todd here give it a couple seconds here. But Todd, I think you may be ready with a replay. I know Rich Finkel may have had a little bit of help from behind to put us under our first caution flag. And I didn't get a clip of who it might have been involved with him. I think it may have been the 07 of Rich Warden, who may have got a piece of the back of the number 2 car. So when you're ready, sir, chime in with the BladeNo.com Full Velocity Instant Replay. All right, so I don't know if we're going to get the replay there. As Todd said, the camera angle is just not going to show the picture, so he's going to work on that really quickly as well. So we'll get that all sorted out for you. That was the number 07 of Rich Warden into the back of the number 2 car of Rich Finkel. Put us under caution flag for the first time here. Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park live on the Full Velocity Racing Network, brought to you by Hannibal Record Service. Check them out today on Facebook. Hannibal Record Service. If you're in the West Virginia area, call them for a tow. Tyler and the gang do a great job. So once again, that's Hannibal Record Service. Find them once again on Facebook. Also, a thank you to the friends at iRacingGuyFlag.com. If you're an iRacer, one of these great little pit box telemetry boards that he's got, check him out, iRacingGuyFlag.com. Also, a big shout out to our friends Kathy and Brian Boyles from Boyles Trucking. They are responsible for doing a lot of us over here in the NR 2003 community. Great thing we have with them, guys. Check them out today over on Facebook at Voiles Trucking, doing commercial freight transfers. Anything you may need, too big or too small, the leasing job is there. Once again, that's Voiles Trucking over on Facebook. Also, a big shout out and thank you to the gang over at BladeNode.com. They restore our instant replay site after night. You need web hosting, a VPS server, dedicated servers. Look no further than BladeNode.com. And if you use promo code FVRN, they'll give you 25% off your first monthly subscription. Once again, that's BladeNode.com. Also, a big shout out to the gang over at South Texas Speedway. It is Corpus Christi's place to race. Check them out today on Facebook or on the web, SouthTXSpeedway.com. Also, big shout to Monstar Productions. They sponsor our onboard cameras. Check out Jake and all the gang over there. The Firecracker 40 coming up on the airwaves of the Full Velocity Racing Network about a month from now on July the 2nd. Hashtag Make Dirt Track Racing Great Again. Check them out today on Facebook, Monstar Productions. Also, a big shout out to TDR Racing League, the sponsor of the TDR Turtle. You don't want to be upside down because if you are on the airwaves, you become a TDR Turtle of the night. TDRRacing.net is where you find that great NR 2003 league. Also, a big shout to the gang over at Har Motorsports. They sponsor our quick time of the evening, which tonight goes to Josh Boyer aboard car number 41. Check the guys at Har out today, harmotorsports.com. Also, going to say hello and thank you to the gang over at Trash Panda Graphics, Jason Salter. Also, thanks to Jim Revis over at Evil One Graphics and our buddy Brendan Spadafora, our buddy out here in car number 37 tonight. His great YouTube show, Full Throttle with the Gent. Check him out there. We just put a new one up with the Pocono Race Report. Check him out today over on YouTube, Full Throttle with the Gent. But Todd, we go back to Green Flag Racing here on lap number 7.
Definitely going back to Green Flag Racing. It is Josh Boyer, Ricky LeDuc for 2. Third right now is Jeff Stacanis in that number 31. Chad Barcombe in the number 50. He's running 4th. Herman Reese is running in the 5th position in that number 73 machine. So we're just watching these guys go at it here, Phil. Looking at the different camera angles here. Thompson did not set up Full Velocity Racing Network with very good camera angles here tonight. Going to have to talk to those guys and get us some better camera angles this next time we come and visit Thompson. So trying to get the best views we can for you guys, but the track just did not set those up for us.
No, we'll have to work on those as I don't like them on my end of things either. But yeah, as we look over down at turn number 1, Boyer leading Ricky LeDuc, Jeff Stacanis, Chad Barcombe. This is a guy, Todd. He has won a ton of races over at STR. It's a group that we broadcasted for years and years. It is so cool to see our old friend Fred Hill out here tonight aboard car 58. Fred mostly retired now from driving into things, but him and Steve Rubino from Hobo, they connected at Walt Stadium a few weeks ago, and they said, hey, why not put an interleague challenge together? And that's exactly what we got on tap here tonight. So we see guys like Ricky LeDuc, Chad Barcombe, Dave Melson, Bill Kring, Fred Hill, the guys that race over all the time at STR Sim Racing League. They joined the host of guys like Josh Boyer and Jeff Stacanis, Herman Reese, the Rubinos, Rich Napick, all the gang that makes up over here at Hobo Racing. Great to see 2 friends of ours, 2 old leagues going at it head-to-head. And so far, Josh Boyer doing all the right things, Todd. He leads the way. They're in turn 3 on lap number 11.
You're just watching these guys come to fruition here. As these guys really doing a good job here, keeping it pretty much single file. These guys not really peeking much out of line. Watching the back portion of the pack, you got Duke Sorensen. I see a little bit of smoke. Must be from the 04 machine going off-road. And here where the Whelen Modified, it's something that you don't want to do. But watching these guys fight up through the field, and looks like pretty much these guys single file, staying on the bottom of the track there, Phil. Trying to get the best camera angles right now.
Yeah, we're going to work on those for sure. As I'm not liking what they give me for broadcast, and I do things kind of out of the top of the car, but it's not going to make for a really good broadcast picture for certain. But now on lap 13, Boyer still leading LeDuc, Stacanis, Barker, and Herman Reese now up to the top 5. And they, as you said, basically single file around this place. So what I know about Thompson, Todd, is if Matt Stern would like to come mow my lawn, I'm only a 5-minute drive down the road, so I'll put that out there. Come on over, Matt. But Thompson, a place that is always notorious for burning up tires, especially on this now worn-in kind of pavement. The Modified's usually about 60 to 75 laps if you run really hard on a set of tires. So 120 laps. I'm assuming these guys are going to need at least 1 stop for tires. I think they're also going to need a splash for fuel as well. So you may see these guys start poking, they may start, put this race in half per se. Maybe use a little bit of strategy there, as it looks like Josh Boyer may get a little bit of a peek from the 96 of Ricky LeDuc, Stacanis, and Barcombe there. Herman Reese still running in the 5th spot. Guy starting to make his way kind of through this field, Todd. His old friend, Mr. Fred Hill, the number 58, that TNT Hobo Motorsports machine. Fred right now is running up with a nice spot. He started the outside of the top 10. It is great to see an old friend and Fred Hill back out with us. It's been such a long time. It was so good to catch up with him early before this race.
I wasn't able to catch up with him as much as you were there, Fred, but it was good. Phil. As much as I wanted to with Fred, I should say. And Phil, you were able to catch up with him quite a bit. I know he was dragged back here to race here tonight. It's good to see Fred Hill back out here in the wheel of modifieds here at Thompson as we are in car with the number 41 of Josh Boyer. Just looking at the way he gets around Thompson here. And it looks like pretty much sticking to the bottom there, sticking to his guns in that number 41 machine. LeDuc is right there, but he's about a half a second behind in that number 96 machine.
Yeah, I'm just kind of migrating all over the racetrack, finding where everybody's just kind of running, and there's really no battle out there on the racetrack until you go all the way back to 17th, where you find Matt Stern with Larry D and Rich Ward, and those guys, those are the last cars on the field, 17th, 18th, and 19th from a 19-car field, so those guys may be clinging for life to stay on the lead lap here soon because Josh Boyer is putting on one heck of a pace right now as we're working lap number 20. So 100 laps to go. That Jegs number 41, that Troyer chassis machine doing a great job right now. Ricky LeDuc's 96 in there for the second spot. Ricky having a good run so far. Ricky's a guy, he's won a lot of races too in these Whelen modifieds over the years. Todd, we go way back with Ricky to the likes of RTG in the modifieds. Of course, the gang at TNT. Ricky's a guy we talked to many, many times over the years at Victory Lane. One of these old names we haven't seen in quite a while out there joining us this evening.
Yeah, definitely. As I've seen him over in a different simulation there, Phil. I seen him over at iRacing a couple of nights ago, so it's interesting to see Ricky back out here. So Ricky LeDuc doing a fantastic job behind the wheel of Whelen, so it's good to see him back out and running here on NASCAR 2003 and doing a fantastic job as he's starting to reel back in. Josh Boyer in that number 41 machine.
Yeah, he really is. They're all starting to reel him in. It's down about 4 car lengths here down into turns over 3 and 4. 96 of LeDuc is starting to chase down that 41. So maybe Josh may have used up the goodie on that tire a little bit. Also, that gap for the third spot between Stakanis of the 31 and Chad Barkham of the 50 is closed. Now that NOS Energy Drink number 50, Chad Barkham, he had a notion to peek down off a 2 down the back chute. He's going to look low back again under Stakanis. Todd, we got a battle for third off of turn 4.
Battle going on there, Phil, is like you said, Stakanis in that number 31 machine, Chad Barcombe, the number 50 machine. Stakanis still holding on to that third spot, trying to get a good camera angle of this battle. Was not able to do so. There is Jeff Stakanis still running in that third spot.
Stakanis in for third. Barkham is now falling back for fourth. Herman Reese sitting there in that fifth spot in the 73. Really content. Dave Melson, the number 13. Dave having a good run. That's another guy we haven't talked to in a long time. We go back a long time with Dave Melson aboard car number 13. He currently runs in that sixth spot. Steve Rubino having a good night out of the gate. Steve's got moved around Bill Kring to take over the seventh spot. Bill dropping back to eighth aboard that number 32. Fred Hill's 58 running ninth. And Bino, Danny Rubino, he has cracked his way to the top 10. Does Bino have something to say about the outcome of this race at Thompson tonight? Todd, I guess we'll wait and see. The great thing about this racetrack, all these guys have made so many laps here over the years. Everybody has a comfortable lane out here. If you're a modified enthusiast like a lot of these guys are, you've probably made about tens of thousands of laps around this racetrack. I know I have.
Yeah, I haven't made that many laps around this track as much as I would like to. I made actually some good laps around this track in the iRacing simulation. Not as much in NASCAR 2003. I've had a few laps around there, Phil, but not as much as per se probably you, because you are a big modified enthusiast where the dirt tracks would be my thing. And seeing these in person, though, I did get to grow up and see all the Zachariases and that stuff at Chemung and the Bodines. I got to see that kind of racing back, I'm going to say, in the early 90s. So I did get to see some of those guys at the start of some of the things. And I obviously got to see Todd Bodine in the late model. So, I mean, I didn't get to see Jeff and those guys as much as I would have liked.
Well, if you would have dated yourself, but I did. So that just kind of shows where I'm heading in age there. As I go back to the early 80s watching those guys. So kind of dating where I may have come from. But I thought a change in the top 5 as the number 13 of Dave Melson is now moved his way into the top 5 around Herman Reese, number 73. So Dave Melson, a guy who's no stranger to victory lane here on the airwaves, back in the old DRTV days. Dave Melson's number 13 now up to 5th, but just some of the things that go on here at Thompson, Todd. I know it's home base for me. I always get excited to see Thompson on our calendar anytime. And just to let you guys know what Thompson's been up to, the Whelen Modified Tour was actually in town here last night. A race that was won by Justin Bonsier, the pride of Long Island. So it's going to make those guys really proud. But in their support divisions, the old SK Modifieds, which are a later block version of the Whelen Tour that we got out here tonight, their SK feature last night at Thompson was won by none other than Monster Energy Cup driver Ryan Priest, picking up the checkered flag last night in Thompson over an up-and-coming star, Todd, that I know you go back a long ways with. Max McLaughlin, the son of Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin. He finished up second here at Thompson last night. His first time out in an open wheel modifies at the 5A Mile. That's a heck of a run. Two really good young talents. Ryan Priest, we know now being a NASCAR star. Max McLaughlin, that upcoming next bunch. I think he's a guy with a ton of talent we get to watch over the years.
Yeah, Mad Max McLaughlin, like you said, having a fantastic. He's up and coming. I'm going to tell you that he was on the dirt scene, did a very, very good job running the short track Super Series around here, and also running the dirt car series, the Big Block Modified series around, and really proven that he can run dirt. So he's able to run dirt now. He's now moving his way over, transitioning. That's his ultimate goal, is to transition and probably follow. I know it's to follow in his father's footsteps. So seeing Mad Max finish up second there, Phil, that's a fantastic feat.
It really is. You want to see something else, Todd? These guys working their way through lap traffic as Rich Warden, Larry D, and Matt Stern have gone a lap down. I'm back here watching guys like Ricky LeDuc and Jeff Stacanis, Chad Barkham, Dave Melson. They've had to go waves around them. Melson almost had to put it 3 wide off of turn number 2 to get by the lap traffic, so looks like he's gotten clear of it. They go falling back to Herman Reese, number 73. Looks like Herman make his way around, but now Matt Stern's around, cutting the grass over to the turn 3 area. That is going to put our turn 2 area, I should say. That's going to put us back under the yellow flag now on lap number 36. Yellow, yellow, yellow on the speedway, which Todd, I think, already is kind of already showed that live to everybody. He caught that on the screen. So yellow flag on the speedway, brought to you by Hanover Record Service, Blagno.com, full velocity instant replay. Todd says no need. We saw the 04 car go around, and looks like Todd, it was just all by his selfie. He got a little bit out of the groove off turn number 2, and turn 2 at Thompson's going to hump in the middle of the high lane. You don't want to bottom out in there. It looked like Matt may have found that out of the groove. He cut a little bit more of the grass over there, that second turn. I'm sure the Honing family that owns this joint, they probably appreciate the help.
Definitely got to be appreciating the help. There's a lot of different things going on there, and unfortunately Matt Stern, like you said, going around all by his selfie down into the infield grass and able to fire back. A lot of these guys down on pit road, though, Phil. A busy pit road here at Thompson right now. Watching these guys change some tires on these modifieds. And, you know, the modifieds, it's got a lot more grip on those tires with those huge tires compared to like a NASCAR car. Phil, if you were comparing this to NASCAR, comparing the cars as far as tire grip and different things, how much more grippier are these cars? And I know they're faster than the NASCAR cars on some tracks.
They are, and they have that wider wheelbase on the back end. I believe it was 103 inches across from left rear to right rear. So wider wheelbase lets these cars really squat down to the corner, really get some good traction off. It's radial tires, these things they do wear, but not too terribly much depending on a racetrack. But a place like a Thompson, they will wear out. But the curious difference we see here, Todd, versus the NR 2003 simulation versus what a real life modified pit stop would do. There's no option in here. You can change 2 tires or 4, but the normal C on the modified tour, Todd, they usually make a 3-tire pit stop, usually a right front, both rear tires. Usually nobody changes left fronts. We don't have that option at our 2003 to only make it a 3-tire pit stop. So a lot of guys on pit road, they were all down there changing 4 because you don't have the option.
See, that's something, Phil, I would have never known. Actually, that's something new for me. I learned something today from Phil Lacasse. Look at that. Never knew they would do a 3-tire pit stop. I mean, well, dirt cars, the big block modifieds, they don't make 4 tires. They usually change 1 tire and 1 tire only unless they're flat, and that's the right rear tire. So, I mean, you never, ever see those guys come down on pit road to take 4 tires. It's always that right rear.
Yeah, and that's a common thing in the modifieds as well here on the asphalt side of things. Right rear is usually the norm. Right front usually comes next, but yeah, they usually got the, with these wider tires, Todd, the way these things really get into the corner, they can spin. You can really drive off the back end of the race car. Left rear on these cars does wear a little bit, so you don't typically see a left front tire go on one of these things. They steer pretty good with the back tires to that right front tire. But if that's something you never heard before, I'm kind of honored. I finally give you some kind of education after all the years. Modifies 3 tires. It's a normal thing. They jack up the right side. They'll change the right rear tire. They'll jack the back of the car up, and they'll change both rear tires. It's really cool to see. I'll have to show you one of those sometime.
You're going to have to watch a long-distance race, obviously, to see something like that happen there, Phil. I've watched some on TV. I guess I really didn't pay attention to a pit stop, even if they had some. I know the tracks down like Shangri-La that they raced at, they made 30 laps, and that was it. You didn't see them come down and do a pit stop. So maybe a long-distance race, and maybe just to watch to see what they do with those cars. That would be fantastic in itself. So, yeah, it's interesting to learn something here tonight.
And I can tell you, Todd, the very first Whelen Modified Tour race that NASCAR did was right here at this Thompson Speedway back in 1986. And I'm going to let you guess who was the very first winner of a Whelen Modified Tour event for NASCAR as we go back green flag racing here.
Well, you're making me go on a limb. What year was it you said?
I'm going to say 1986.
I almost want to go on a limb, and say something, but I don't know it very well. So as the yellow flag does fly once again here after restart shenanigans, maybe Richie Evans?
You're absolutely 100% correct. I threw you a softball right there. You being from the upstate New York area, no Utica Rome's not too far away. Richie Evans, first time winner on the tour, first Tour Series champion in these modifies, but caution flag for the 3rd time here tonight at Thompson for the Hobo versus STR Sim Racing Whelen Modified Challenge, and we find a buddy of ours over there in car number 37. Brendan Spadafora got turned around in the wrong direction, and I think he may have just overshot the corner a little bit tad too hot. I'm not sure who that was that got into him behind him, but I do know it was a Brendan Spadafora machine, Todd. He got a loose there over in turn 2, and he just looks like overdrove the corner.
Phil, Average Joe's disagreeing. It was not Richie. It was not Richie, is what Average Joe was saying. Oh, he says I stand corrected. Oh, what great. I love it. So I don't know anything about it. Not able to, the replays are not going to have a very good view of it. I can try to get the review of it. We can try to see what Brendan Spadafora did. But they're not a very good view, Phil.
No, they're not a good view, but show it off anyway. We'll let everybody know. It's not the best view we can show. But we'll let Todd go back and find it. But it was Brendan who got around it. I don't know if he had any help or not. It was tough to tell where I'm at. These cameras here definitely not the best source to look at here from the outside of the race car. So we'll take a look and see. But I know Brendan went around aboard his number 37. We'll love on him some. Full throttle with the gent. Check him out over here on YouTube if you have not done so already. Brendan is a great guy. There's a really cool little podcast type kind of show covering the NASCAR world of things. When he gets all fired up, man, he is just a gem, a diamond to listen rant. So check him out once again. Full throttle with the gent. We give Brendan some love. Let's give him some more love, Todd. You ready there with that replay?
Definitely going to be rather difficult to see what happened to Brendan Spadafora. Here's the camera angle I have. It looks like maybe the 06 got into the back of him, and around goes Brendan Spadafora. He does collect the 96 there, just a tad bit, just hitting him just a tad bit. 96 of Ricky LeDuc. He gets it back going here around there. No worse for the wear. So pretty lazy spin there for the 37.
It really is. And I see Average Joe's out there saying he thought Richie died 85, and that could be possible. So maybe I'm a year off. Maybe it was a 85 season. I think that sounds more correct. 85 was the first year of the tour. The first winner was Richie Evans in that famous Omaha Orange number 61 car. So, yeah, I'm glad we got Average Joe's out there to help me out there. Off by a year, and that just shows, Todd, I'm pushing that big dreaded 4 number coming in my birth year really soon. So I've probably forgotten a whole lot more about racing than I remember now. I'm starting to lose my mind. Too many online racing laps over the last 10 years, I would think. It's got my memory all really jogged up, I think.
And definitely, these guys are restacked, repacked. Looks like the lights are extinguished atop the pace car here, Phil. They enter the back straightaway here at Thompson. It is the number 41 of Josh Boyer, Chad Barcombe, Dave Melson, Herman Reese, Jeff Stakana, Steve Rubino. Then you got Bill Kring, Fred Hill, DJ Hinsky, and then Dan Rubino in that number 44 machine. That is your current top 10. As they get to iRacing, I-flag, green flag, off of turn number 4. They're down the front straightaway here, diving down into turn number 1, lap car. Down on the bottom, that's a 04 machine. That is Matt Stern trying to get his lap back the hard way. Now falling back through the field, though. Difficult for Matt Stern to try to keep up with the leaders. A little bit of damage here ensued as now we got a battle for the lead there momentarily. It looked like the number 50 machine of Barcombe was looking down to the bottom of Boyer.
Yeah, he is, and he is right along the back bumper of that 41 car, giving a little tap there as the head off into turn number 3 and 4 now off the corner here at the High Bank 5/8 mile Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Josh Boyer going to lead Chad Barcombe down to turn number 1. That Nosh Energy drink number 50. He's going to look to the low side off at 2, and that is a very tough place to find grip down on that low side. But he really now into 3. He gets a little bit sideways. Looks like more contact over there. We're going to go back under the yellow flag here. Yellow flag for the 4th time tonight, and I'm thinking that happened right around toward the front of the field as I kind of got a little bit squirrely where I was here in my views. I got stuck on pit road there for a brief second, so we'll let Todd get that all worked out. We can show me a Full Velocity Racing Network instant replay brought to you by our friends at BladeNode.com. Say hello to our buddy Sam, who's out there in the YouTube live chat here this evening, as along with Average Joe's and all the ladies out there that always migrate over from Hobo Racing. Always good to have them over, but let's see what happened here. Hanover Record Service, caution flag number 4 on lap 51. What happened to us, Todd? I'm not exactly sure where that happened from, but I think you caught it a lot quicker than I did.
Yeah, we're going to watch from a different type of camera angle here to try to give it a little bit more of a shot. Here, you got Sorensen here, and there's some smoke coming out of Ricky LeDuc's cars. It looks like Duke comes down, makes contact there with LeDuc. Around goes Duke Sorensen. In through the grass there, Phil, all by a selfie, though. And nobody else coming in with him there. As the number 96 of LeDuc keeps marching on. And Sorensen now nowhere for the wear. No contact with the wall. Going to join the tail of the field.
No, Duke and LeDuc got into it in the corner. I don't think I've ever got to say that here before, but Duke lost on that battle. Duke Sorensen's number 59 going to have to go to the rear of the field here at Thompson, now working under yellow on lap number 52. A couple of short yellows here. These guys have already come down on pit road. I'm thinking they probably have come down for the final time here tonight. Fuel should be good right about now. Tire wear under these yellow flag laps, you're not burning it off. So a lot of the race leaders, Todd, may have already come to pit road for the final time. You may see, if we had a caution flag, going to say about 30 to go from now, say about 25 laps, and I would not be surprised at all to see somebody maybe like a Ricky LeDuc or Danny Rubino or even guys like Rich Napick who are back in the back part of the field. If those guys come down and get 4 tires in about 30 laps, watch those guys come to the field, because tires here at Thompson, they play such a pivotal role, and I think we'll see that. If this thing has a green flag run to it, that'll change, but if we see another caution flag here about 30 or 40 laps from now, man, it's going to get hairy.
I definitely have to agree with you there, Phil. It's a top 10 widget on the right-hand side of the screen. You got Voiles trucking down in the left-hand side of the stream. So watching the TV here, but watching who the current top 10 are, as the lights are still on the top, the pace car. And again, we mentioned here the top 10 being a little bit different. Fred Hill still inside this top 10 there, Phil. So Fred Hill's still having a good run. Like you said, he was trying to get away from racing altogether here. The modified sucking it back in. A lot of the backstory there. You got to talk to Fred with Rubino and those guys having a fantastic time. But Fred Hill being dragged back into this one. And he's doing good for having to knock some rust off.
He absolutely is. And I got to tell you, man, Fred's been at this for a long time, as we all have. He's kind of, taking a little time away from the driving coming out here tonight. Steve sucked him into it. But, I got to tell you about the league. Fred was a guy, for years and years went by the old TNT, racing league. And now they merged into what is now the STR, Short Track Racing League. It's now run by a guy named Jim Windrow we go a long time back with, as well as Danny Savory from the legendary Savory family up here in the Northeast. Those two guys run the ship over at STR, still doing modified racing in a big way. And if you want to see what those guys are up to today, is they still race a couple nights a week in these open wheel cars. Check them out today. STRsimracing.com is really cool to see what they have going on. Still very active as a league, as these guys at Hobo are, as we see these guys at Hobo mainly on Tuesday nights with that Voiles Trucking Cup Series all the time. So great to see these two leagues still alive and well, as many are out here in NR 2003 today, including our buddy Don Dolson over there in chat, as we see the green flag, iRacing I flag, green flag returns to the field. Josh Boyer going to lead Chad Barkham off of turn number 2.
As Josh Boyer doing a fantastic job holding him off here on the restarts, as Barkham had a little bit better restart last time by. Now peeking back down to the bottom side is that number 50 machine. So he's trying to do something here, Phil. I don't know if he's got enough car to do it. It looks like Boyer and a longer green flag run is able to pull away from these guys, but we haven't had too much of a long green flag run. As the number 41 of Boyer still holding on to that top spot. Barkham running in that second spot. Third is Dave Melson in the number 13 machine. Good to see him having a good run. Fourth is Herman Reese. Jeff Stakanis running fifth. Steve Rubino up to the 6th position. And Steve doing a fantastic job too there, Phil, as he's starting to make his way up through the field.
He really is. That 21 car having a really good run tonight here at the 5 Ace. Currently running the 6th spot. Has a notion to look underneath Jeff Stakanis now. Over in turn 3, Stakanis gets around a little bit loose. Yellow flag. Going to once again come out of the speedway here just shy of 1 lap of the halfway marker. And it was down in turn number 3. And I think it was that number 21 car of Steve Rubino may have got a little bit of glance off the back end of the 31. These noses on these Whelen modifiers are a little bit longer out there. The chrome horn, as we call them, up here in the front end of these cars. And I believe, Todd, the chrome horn on that number 21 may have just caught the back end of Jeff Stakanis, that number 31. And those two, both those guys making contact. Jeff Stakanis on the short end. I believe that's the reason for our BladeNo.com full velocity replay that puts us under caution flag number 5 here tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely going to show this one here from the helicopter view. Just to watch what happened here is you can see Steve Rubino, the number 21 machine. You can see the entry here. It just barely taps the 31 of Jeff Stakanis. Stakanis goes around, backs it into the wall there. And Steve Rubino able to keep going in that number 21 machine. But unfortunate there for the 31 of Stakanis. It just does a little bit of a tap there, Phil. But, man, a hard hit to the outside wall.
Yeah, it was a tough break there for the 31. He was up in the top 5, having a good run, and race car don't look too bad. He did make a little bit of contact there with the left side, so I'm sure that thing's a little scraped up. But the great thing is, there's no fenders on these race cars, Todd. They're open wheels. You can, bend that nerve bar back out. You can put that tire back on, and hopefully nothing broke in the suspension. Jeff Stakanis will get that racetrack number 31 car back rolling here in the right ways. We have eclipsed halfway home here tonight at the 5 Ace Mile Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Let's take you through a brief trip here through our full field rundown as they currently sit. The race leader is car number 50 of Chad Barkham. He leads over Dave Belson's over 13. Steve Rubino currently scored 3rd. Bill Kring 4th, with Fred Hill rounding out our top 5. DJ Hinsky's in for 6th. Ricky LeDuc 7th. MT Johnson 8th. Rich Knappich 9th. Herman Reese running out our top 10. 11th, we find previous race leader Josh Boyer. He had come down to pit road, as well as Brendan Spadafora, who runs 12th. Larry D is 13th. Matt Stern 14th. Danny Rubino currently running 15th. Jeff Stakanis now saddled back to the 16th position. Duke Sorensen is 17th. Rich Fankel 18th. And Rich Warden aboard car number 07. He runs 19th. Full field rundown. Sponsored by your friends here at the Full Velocity Racing Network. If you want to check us out today at our all-new website home, you can do that by checking out FullVelocityTV.com. FullVelocityTV.com is where you find the likes of Todd and myself, Jack Chewin, Ron Piles, Martin Karch, and our buddy Brett Rose. Those guys did a heck of a job over on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch TV tonight as they have the Cyber Thunder Racing League over on iRacing with their great event for the Wyckoff Heating and Cooling Thursday Night Thunder Series over at the Talladega Super Speedway. So those guys will put one heck of a race on. I hope you all tuned in over there that have migrated over here to YouTube, the live side of things tonight here with the gang over at Hobo versus STR. This is a really great event we have going on. Great to see these two leagues kind of convene together. Just a non-points all-star event, and this is a really good time out here tonight. And said so many names we haven't seen in such a long time. Now, what I'm going to tell you, Todd, look no farther than the top of the leaderboard. Chad Barkham, that number 50 car, that's a guy who has won a lot of races over the years. If that guy's out front, he's usually really tough. Him and Dave Melson, that top two, that's going to be a lot to handle. Josh Boyer is going to have 4 tires. We'll have to see how he comes back to the field here with 55 laps remaining.
Yeah, with, like you said, 55 laps remaining. Green flag, the iRacing I flag, green flag back out here for the Whelen Modifieds. The number 50 at Barkham drifts up the track just a tad bit, going down into turn number 1, going down the back chute. So the number 13 is Dave Melson, Dave Melson. And the number 13 running in that second spot. Third is Steve Rubino, Bill Kring, and Fred Hill. That is your top 5 as they run right now. And seeing a lot of smoke coming out of some of these cars, Phil. Heavy braking coming out of some of these guys. Getting into the corner a little hot here early on in the going. But it is Barkham trying to stretch his lead out over Dave Melson in that number 13 machine.
Yeah, Dave Melson doing a great job. I'm back here watching a race from the A spot where Rich Napick and that Harley Davidson number 6, him and MT Johnson of the 06. Those two guys had a really good battle for a whole lap. As Rich now able to make that pass on the outside lane off of turn number 4. The only problem is he kissed the outside wall with the right front tire, so you hope he didn't ruin something there. But either way, Rich Napick now with that number 6, a guy we normally talk about near the front of the field. That Harley Davidson machine now up to the 8th spot. Keep an eye on that 6 car, Todd. He's starting to make some waves.
Yeah, definitely trying to make some waves there. Rich Napick in that number 6 machine, the 06 right there behind him. That's MT Johnson. So Johnson right there. DJ Hinsky having a good run right there directly in front of that number 6 machine, that number 14. He's having a good run, but Napick seems to be picking up speed here every lap, Phil.
He really is. Looks like he's got some fresh tires in that thing. Looks like he's got a little bit of courage going on in that car. That 6 car is rolling, as is the number 96 car, Ricky LeDuc. Him and Fred Hill have a really good race going on. That is battling over for position number 5. They're off the exit of turn number 2. 96 going to look under the 58. They're going to drag race down the back straightaway here, or down the front stretch, I should say. Battle for the 5th spot, heading off in a 1.
Yeah, as you were watching that, Phil, the 06 machine, watching the 06 get around the number 6 of Napick, the 41 of Boyer already making some moves. Boyer up to the 10th position there in the number 41, able to get around Napick. Now sets inside on the 06 of MT Johnson. Johnson, Phil, has got a fast hot rod underneath him, too. But Boyer with 4 fresh tires, starting to pick his way through the field here pretty quickly.
I'm telling you, you watch that car with 4, because he is going to make some drives up through this field. And I think you say, you get a yellow here at about 30 to go. I bet you the race leaders take note of that and probably come to pit side to take 4 fresh tires of their own. But we keep an eye on that number 41. Josh Boyer set tonight's quick time. Started from the pole 70 laps ago. Josh Boyer with those 4 fresh tires up to a 9th spot. He's got 5 seconds. He is going to have to run down between the leader, but he settles there for 8th. But that race for 5th still very much a factor up there. Fred Hill is taking on the challenge of Ricky LeDuc. He has held off his best, throw yet, but off the 4th turn, 96 car looking back to the low side. He's got that corner entry to 1 looking. He's on the preferred lane. They're going to drag race off of 2 for a P5 spot.
Yeah, but LeDuc is getting a little bit loose down on the bottom in that number 96 machine. Fred Hill not going away on the top side of the speedway here, the middle group per se, and that number 58 TNT sponsored machine. He comes down the front straightaway, still holding the edge there, able to close the door on the number 96 of LeDuc. So great power move by the 58 of Fred Hill. So Fred Hill inside the top 5 still maintains that top 5 position in that number 58 machine.
You're going to earn passes here. That's no doubt about it. Ricky's got a fast car, but Fred not making a mistake. And, Fred, a veteran of wars out here in these modifieds. He knows exactly what he has got underneath the hood of that car. And he does doing the best he can to hold off a hard-charging Ricky LeDuc right now with the number 96. Chad Barkham continues to lead. It looks like by about 6 car lengths between himself and Dave Melson, Steve Rubino, Bill Kring, Fred Hill, your top 5 until yellow flag coming back on the speedway. Yellow flag number 6 going to grace us on lap number 75. Hanover Record Service yellow flag number 6. And just the brief little glimpse I got of this one, Todd, the ladies on YouTube, they may not be too much of a fan of who just was involved in this latest wreck, because off of turn number 4, I'm going to say it's 2 of our fan favorites out there in the YouTube live chat involved. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to let Todd tell the story. BladeNo.com, Full Velocity Racing Network, instant replay. Take it away, Todd. Issues off of turn number 4.
So we're trying to get a good view here. This is the view of this one. And this does involve Dan Rubino and the 37 of Brendan Spadafora. And Brendan's running his own line here. It doesn't. I thought initially they made a lot of contact. You can see just barely. If they made any contact, it is the bubble contact. What we call the bubble contact here in NASCAR 2003. You have a bubble around your car. You might have a little bit of contact there as Rubino gets into almost the side of the 37 of Spadafora. Around goes Danny Rubino down into the grass, but luckily for him, no inside wall, no contact. The grass slows him down. He slows himself down, and he's going to join the tail of the field once again.
Yes, he does. And we under yellow now on lap number 77. And I said, Todd, give us another yellow flag, and we'll see how fast some of these leaders come down onto pit road. And guess what? They all did. All of them. Chad Barkham, Dave Melson, Fred Hill, Ricky LeDuc, Herman Reese, Steve Rubino, all those gang coming down to pit road for 4 fresh tires. And guess who stays out to regain that track position? Well, the guy who came in that last round of stops, number 41 of Josh Boyer, regains all that track position. Lost 41 car now back to the race lead, but the only issue he's got now, Todd, he's not going to have the best tires because Chad Barkham, who looks like may restart in that 3rd position, Chad's got the fresher tires now, so you want to see what tires look like at Thompson. Stay tuned. You're going to see what it looks like.
We're going to have to see there, Phil, because I'm telling you, Boyer didn't have a lot of laps on those tires, maybe just a couple. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, but it's one of them things that you may know more than I do here at this track. Obviously, I'm not a very good person to be talking about the Whelen Modifieds or this track for matter, because I've seen the track. I didn't actually get to, I guess I did actually, I seen parts of the track.
We waved to it.
Yeah, I seen parts of the track. I seen more of the road course that's around it now.
Yeah, the road course is really cool too, and I wished some of the great builders and modders out there in NR 2003 would maybe design that road course, because that would be really cool to take a gander on. It looks really cool. I'd love to take our home vehicle out there and just kind of take a spin around it, because it looks really awesome. Thompson, for many, many years back in the 50s, they had a road course over there. Would you believe the likes of a guy like Richard Petty has a win at Thompson in the road course style? Those guys used to come up here and race in the 50s and 60s, but it was cool to see the road course come back to life. Though a lot of the sports car racing clubs and whatnot migrate it every week, but yeah, Todd, we'll have to get you up here one of these days to actually go inside the track and see what racing looks like. I've been inside that facility to see a race there in many, many years now, so put that on the bucket list next time we get together. We come out here and do that. But we go back to green flag racing here on lap number 80, 2/3 the way home. Josh Boyer, Brendan Spadafora are going to be our top 2 off of turn 2.
Yeah, seeing a lot of different contact going on throughout the field there, Phil. As I almost see some more contact going on back there. Not sure. Yep, it's going to bring out a yellow flag there, Phil. I was going to say something. I was going to say that this track, they should make a track similar to this for the Dirt Series. For something like this, they've already turned, and I hate saying that, they've turned Unichrome into dirt. They turned Airborne into dirt. Those are both asphalt facilities. What would you think Thompson on dirt would be like?
It would mirror the Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York. They're same distance, 5/8. The bankings on the corner very, very similar. So I think if you're looking for a place that would be the dirt comparison, absolutely I would call Lebanon Valley Speedway probably my favorite dirt track in the country that I have been to personally. That would be the comparison to it. But yellow flag on the Speedway now for the 7th time, I believe now, on lap number 80. And I believe we're going to find, I believe we've had some contact between Herman Reese and the 73, and I believe Ricky LeDuc in the number 96 time. Looks like those 2 cars had a disagreement of space, and I believe that may be the sample we look at here with a BladeNo.com full velocity instant replay under our 8th Hanover Record Service yellow flag of the evening. We'll give Todd a couple of seconds as he was telling a great story there, but we'll go back and take a look. But I believe we're going to see the 73 of Herman Reese and the 96 of Ricky LeDuc. Two really good fast race cars. They come together and bring Jello Fly back to the Speedway.
So definitely going to take a look at this one. We're going to ride around with Herman Reese. And Reese hits the wall here. This is on the restart of the race. Herman just going through here and coming through the corner. It's 3 wide here at Thompson. I don't think that's going to work. Nope, definitely not going to work. Ricky LeDuc in the middle. Now the 32 of Bill Craig down on the bottom. And contact. 73 around. Herman Reese into the wall. 3 wide. Not going to work there.
Nah, not usually. Not on an open wheel race car. That's pretty tough to do. I did see somebody make that happen once upon a time. A guy that came out here ran one time at Thompson. A guy that I think we all kind of know. Some guy they call Smoke came out here once upon a time and put his car up against the wall. He drove a backup car to the late, great Teddy Christopher one night out here in a weekly show and made the field look silly. We talk about running the cushion in dirt racing, Todd. I couldn't believe it. Tony Stewart put the right rear tire up against the wall here at Thompson and just made these guys look stupid. I couldn't believe it.
Phil, I didn't get a chance to see any of that stuff. Maybe I'm gonna have to go through some of these YouTube archives because it does seem kind of interesting. And I see Sam's out there, Phil, saying that they used to throw clay onto Bristol one time. I forgot to mention right now the Steel Palace gets dirt on it for Super Dirt Week every year, and that's a huge place in history with the modifieds and the super modifieds for that matter.
The World of Outlaws, Todd, just a couple of nights ago ran on the Nashville's Fairgrounds Speedway.
That's interesting.
They put dirt on that for a couple of days show, so that was a really cool deal. So it's not unprecedented to see dirt put on a racetrack like this, but I've seen dirt put down for monster truck stuff. I've seen a whole lot of weird stuff over the years. I've even seen some motorized porta-john at Thompson once upon a time. If you can believe
Camper
it,
races.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen. But now as we come off turn number 4, pace car going to find its way onto pit road. We go back to Green Flag Racing on lap number 85. Josh Boyer, Brendan Spadafora, Chad Barkham, Dave Belson, Bill Kring. That's your top 5 as they exit turn 2.
The exiting turn 2 down the back straightaway. It is Josh Boyer. And Brendan Spadafora doing a fantastic job. You know he's got to be a little bit older tires, but able to hold off the hard charging to Chad Barkham and that number 50 machine as he's been looking down to the bottom side, but 37 Spadafora able to hold him off here. As they come through the corner here, we're on lap 87 of 120. Going down to back straightaway here at Thompson is Boyer. Really starting to put some distance in between himself and Brendan Spadafora.
Yeah, he really is. And I think Brendan may be holding up the likes of Barkham and Dave Melson, maybe Bill Kring, Ricky LeDuc also, number 96. Those guys really making a charge up front. As you see Barkham, that NOS energy drink, number 50, keep peeking down to the low side under Brendan, now off into turn number 1 and 2 down here. Now they really make a 3 and 4, I should say, really good little push there for the 50 car, trying to run them more of a diamond lane to the racetrack, trying to find running room down there. The 37's not making a mistake, and what that's doing is bringing Dave Melson back into it. Dave, I don't think, wants to race the 50 car, but if Chad doesn't check up anymore, you may see Dave Melson, vacate that hole that the 50 leaves open there. But once again, Chad to the low side of Brendan. They come off a 4. You just see they put back that throttle pedal down. It's just not working right now, but it's happening to Ricky LeDuc, the number 96. He's to the low side of Bill Kring, a change for 5th on off of turn 2.
Yeah, but Bill Kring not going away there. That number 32 machine up on the top here, right around in the brand new asphalt portion there. You see a lot of smoke coming out. High-low switch there from Kring as LeDuc was able to get around Bill Kring. Kring back down to the bottom side in that number 32 machine. He's making it work here, Phil, trying to end up getting around the number 96 of LeDuc again, but not going to be had here. LeDuc slams that door shut, so LeDuc now sets the sights onto the number 13 machine.
Yeah, and so far, so good up there for Josh Boyer's number 41, and Brendan Spadafora doing a heck of a job holding on to his second position right now over Barkham, Melson, now LeDuc up to the top 5. Bill Kring back to 6th. Fred Hill's up there in the top 10, running in 7th. Steve Rubino currently 8th. DJ Hinsky, Jeff Stakanis, our current top 10 as they work here at Thompson. That way, good little race going on for the 4th spot as LeDuc. He's worked now to the low side of Dave Melson. That's a race for 4th over in turn 1.
Oh, LeDuc went to the high side here.
He's a high side, wow.
Yeah, so is it the 50 machine of Barkham going around the outside. Barkham on the outside of Brendan Spotafora. Spotafora drifts up. Man, that's a gutsy call there. Going to the outside, trying to make some of these passes stick. Because, man, you could your night could be ended rather quickly up there. But here comes the 96 of LeDuc just firing back on Melson. It's a great battle going on. Even Spotafora and Barkham having a good battle.
They absolutely are. It's a really good up there inside the top 5. And I have to give a kudos to the guys over at Project Short Track who made this version of a Thompson Speedway run out here tonight for this great race. And they've done a hell of a job rectifying an old glitch I found on this old racetrack. There's an open gate over off of turn number 2 that they have eliminated here in this sim. So many times over the years, I hit that opening of the wall. It would kill my car for turn number 2. You really had to let somebody go by. But now it's a more racier version of the racetrack, and you're seeing it here all over 4 turns of the racetrack, both straightaways. These guys racing the heck out of it, and they are doing a great job right now, racing for 2nd. Now Dave Melson going to take a shot at Brendan Spatafora. That's racing for 2nd down the backstretch.
Yeah, Melson was able to get to the bottom there in that number 13 machine. Looks like he's going to be able to capitalize, slide up in front of the 37 machine. Now jumping into the grave here rather quickly. The number 96 of LeDuc looked down to the bottom of Spatafora too. As he tries to drive it in deep, it gets a little bit loose, gets a little bit out of touch there. And that number 96 machine, but Brendan Spatafora holding on to the top 3 there still, the 37. But Melson was able to get around Spatafora, now sets his sight on Josh Boyer. Can anybody track down Boyer? He's led 80 laps here tonight.
He really has. Was our quickest car out there in qualifying, led the lion's share of the laps here tonight. And Dave Melson has a little bit fresher tire than a number 41 car, but he's going to run down 1.3 seconds of interval here on the racetrack. And now with 22 laps to go, not impossible, but I know Josh is pretty solid up front, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. As this race for 4th continues to rage on with Ricky LeDuc and Chad Barkham. Those guys been door-to-door racing out over there for position in the top 4 and 5. Now Brendan Spatafora slipping up. He's
Fred Hill around.
Both of them. As now we have a spin off of turn number 2, and I believe, was that the race leader around?
No, Fred Hill around.
Fred Hill, Fred Hill around and not off of turn number 2. Fred was having such a great race in his, return to sim racing here, a one-night only special, he says, for the 58 to come out of retirement. Yellow flag for the 9th time now on lap number 100. And I want to see if anybody elects to come to pit road right now for fresh rubber. I think now is the perfect time to come down there and make a search for the back as pit road is open. I see a lot of takers coming down pit side, and it looks like it's going to include Bill Kring in the 32. I see Brendan Spatafora down there. I see Chad Barkham. I see Josh Boyer, the race leader, coming on pit road for tires. So sneaky here, Todd, as usual at BladeNo.com. Full velocity race event, register replay. What the heck happened to Fred Hill?
Yeah, Fred Hill was going down in the corner. Looks like he got a little bit out of shape. He was already spinning all by his selfie there. The TNT machine going around, and just to make sure they had some insurance there of going around. Unfortunately, Steve Rubino had nowhere to go, making him go around, and Rubino tries to keep going there. But it looks like Rubino getting involved into this one, too. Gets caught up just a tad bit there, Phil. As it looks like he went around, too, and not mowing the grass also in a different spot there, the 21 machine. So, tough break for those two drivers. Fred Hill, man, he was having a great run inside the top 5 here tonight, and now has to be relegated to the back here with under 20 laps to go. Can Fred Hill make it back up there?
Yes, they are. As I was just talking to some of these guys back and forth here through the two-way communication I have off air. I got communication with Spatafora. I got communication with Steve Rubino, a couple more of these guys. And, they were talking about strategy. Josh Boyer came into pit like Barkham and Bill Kring did, but Brendan Spatafora, he decided to stay out. He's going to restart 3rd, and it was Mr. Boyer who put the call out to the 37. He said, Brendan, don't pit. Track mission is so hard here tonight at Thompson, but the guy who says stay out is the guy who came in out of the race lead for tires. I almost call shenanigans on that one.
gonna have to hit the right button here, but I'm not sure if he really wanted. I mean, I would have came down and took them tires. I would at least took 2 tires, to say the least. I mean, these guys are wore out here. The tires gotta be wore out. They were racing heavy there for around the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th position, going 3 wide at times, 2 wide at times. So those guys doing a fantastic job, but I think they had to put some wear on their tires. So I mean, I would have at least down there and got two tires.
At least 2. Got to come down there and get some rubber. We'll see how this pays off because Dave Melson, Ricky LeDuc, Brendan Spadafora, DJ Hinsky, Jeff Stakanis, our top 5. They have all stayed out, as well as MT Johnson, Herman Reese, and Danny Rubino. Those 9 drivers have all stayed out on this cycle of tires. The likes of Josh Boyer is going to restart 10th. He's the first that came down for at least a little bit of rubber there. We find Chad Barkham, Bill Kring, Duke Sorensen, Matt Stern, Steve Rubino. That's our top 15 right now. And also out there we find Rich Fenkel, Fred Hill, Rich Warden, and Larry D in the 188. Looks like Larry has fallen 1 lap down in his Boston Red Sox number 188 car. So good to see 19 cars come out tonight on a very fun night of Full Velocity TV coverage. Hobo Racing versus STR Racing leagues out here tonight. A good inter-friendly league challenge. That's something really cool. That's something I would like to see a whole lot more in this STR 2003 community. It's really cool to see old leagues come together, have a good time, as we're going to have a good time, Todd. Green flag on the speedway, 105 laps on the board, 15 laps to settle it here tonight. They're single file for the race lead off of 2.
Yeah, Dave Melson currently has the race leading the number 13 machine. LeDuc running 2nd. 3rd is Brendan Spadafora. 4th right now would be DJ Hinsky, and then Jeff Stakanis for Snapping is ready. Oh, somebody upside down. It looked like Boyer upside down, and I think we got some roof surfing turtle. And I think that was Boyer upside down in the number 41 machine, Phil.
Oh, no, don't say that, because Josh was a genius coming down and taking tires. You wouldn't get put on your lid, would you, Josh? Oh, no. I think Todd's right. Oh, this may not be good. I guess our 10th Hanover Record Service caution flag tonight on lap number 106 is going to showcase the number 41 of Josh Boyer, who did some unspeakable things upside down in a Whelen modified. No bueno, Josh. Don't like it, but show it off, Todd. Blado.com. Full Velocity Racing Network has the replay.
So we're definitely going to show Boyer, and we're going to be right here behind him. And Boyer was fighting here, coming off the corner, down the back straightaway. So the 41 coming down here into turn number 3, and I think he might have had a little bit of help. Yep, the 50 machine getting loose there, Phil. Chad Barkham coming up and into Josh Boyer, hitting the wall hard. He tips it upside down. He can't keep it up, and we have a turtle, TDR Racing turtle. The 41 of Josh Boyer just hanging out there as I did a little bit of roof surfing and ends up in that turtle, and that jegs.com number 41. I think that's going to end the night for Josh Boyer.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the same for the number 50 of Chad Barkham. So that's this episode right there of 2 really fast cars on 4 fresh tires. Running out of laps here tonight as we restart with 15 to go. Maybe a little tad bit impatient up there trying to make things happen back in the field. You know something all about this, Friday night, Saturday night short tracking there, Todd. When these guys smell, meat in the air and they run out there, they feel that crunch for time. You sometimes do some unnecessary things and probably put that car in places it probably has no business going. I think you just saw Chad Barkham, a really good race car driver, made a little bit of a mistake, and unfortunately it cost him and Josh Boyer, 2 really good cars. It cost him their race, unfortunately.
Well, when it's crunch time, you got to make a decision. You got to make a time to go, because if you're not going, you're not going to be happy with yourself at the end of the race that you didn't go at a certain time that you thought you should have went. So, I mean, you got to go. You can't look down on them for not going, but it's unfortunate that both those cars out of the event, they were both the fastest cars out there, I would have to say, tonight. Is the 82 of the 41 of Josh Boyer had 82 laps led, and then the wheel problem out for Chad Barkham, 16 laps led. So the next closest guy has been Dave Melson. He's led the last 9 laps or so, Phil, in the number 13 machine. So Melson, unfortunately, right now, I shouldn't say unfortunately, he inherits the lead there. So he's got the most laps led besides the other two that are out of this event. So tough break for those two drivers. We're going to see a different driver. But I'm going to ask everybody out there because we have about 10 laps remaining here. We're going to ask everyone out there in YouTube, who's it going to be here tonight? We know you got a favorite out there here at Thompson Speedway. Let's hear it out there. Let's hear who's going to take down the win here. The modified win, the mighty modifieds here at Thompson Speedway. Who's going to take down this win? Is it going to be Dave Melson, Ricky LeDuc, Brendan Spatafora, DJ Hinsky, Jeff Staccatus, Rich Knappick, MT Johnson, Herman Reese, Dan Rubino, Bill Craig, Duke Sorensen, Steve Rubino? It could be any of those guys. We want to know who it's going to be. Let us know.
Let us know on the YouTube live chat as we go green flag racing now with a 111 on the scoreboard. 111 of 120 as they work their way off turn 2. That was a great job right there, Todd. Getting me all psyched up. When you go to that bit, I always get excited. But it looks like right away it's not going to be a long run because a yellow flag going to come right back on the speedway here on lap number 112. So we're not getting enough laps right now to see if we're going to have a change for the lead up front because looks like we've had another disagreement of real estate over in turn 1, and I believe it may have got a couple of cars involved. I'm going to say a yellow car and a white car. And I'm not going to tell you who because I think the ladies, once again, Todd, they may get a little angry with us.
Well, you said a yellow car and a white car, so you have to guess and you have to venture who that may be and who may possibly not be. We're going to get out here and see what actually happened here to bring out this yellow flag, and we're going to have to see a different view here tonight. A lot of different camera angles. Phil, you're going to have to talk to Thompson about getting us better camera angles. This is not what we expected here when we came here, but we're going to show an instant replay here. Really quick, BladeNote.com, instant replay, and you're watching the 21 of Rubino and getting into, it looks like Bill Kring in the number 32 machine. Yep, indeed it was. Around he goes, and the 21 machine, unfortunately, getting into the back. He knows he's done wrong there. Drove it a little bit too hard into the corner there, Phil, and he knows. He goes up to the top of the track and lets everybody pass him.
Yep, and I think I saw the starter come down off the stand, wave that black flag in front of that white cross with number 21's number on it, and I think Steve Ravino may have pulled behind the wall, and that's too bad for Steve as he was having a good night, but yeah, fortunately gets to the back of Bill there, and that number 32 sends those guys around and gonna set up a pretty epic little showdown here as we're 114 laps of 120. We're running on a lap so far. This is gonna be a yellow flag that Dave Melson would like to see. Maybe Ricky LeDuc would like to see. But how about that 37 car? Gent Nation represented tonight in the chat. Our buddy Brendan Todd representing here, running that third spot. Made a gamble on tires, and so far, so good.
Yeah, definitely a good gamble there for the 37 machine. This track position means a lot. We're out here, we hear a lot of people cheering for Gent Nation. Woot woot 37 out here. So we've heard a lot here for Brendan Spatafora Nation. I should say Spatafora Nation. It's Gent Nation out there in YouTube. So he's done a fantastic job. I tell you what, holding his own on those old tires and that number 37 machine. These laps that keep ticking off, they keep helping that number 37 machine. And who's to say, if we get a green flag run, is LeDuc and Melson, are those guys going to get together? I know they race with each other over at STR quite a bit. Those are a pair of STR guys up front there, Phil, and doing a fantastic job.
That's a pair of old school STR guys right there. And I don't believe we're going to see those two guys rough up each other. I think we'll see a lot of respect between the two. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Brendan can make a move on them if they get racing hard. And who knows, a 37 maybe. How about the run for DJ Hinsky? He's up there in the number 14 running in the 4th spot. Jeff Staccatus, he's up there in 5th. You got Rich Knappick in 6th. MT Johnson, Herman Reese, Danny Rubino, and Duke Sorensen are current top 10. As it looks like the lights are going out around the 5/8 mile. They put the Whelen lights out, and the field back in the 3rd turn. We'll see the pace car make that nice dive off toward pit road, and we will send these guys back racing here. And it looks like what is going to be probably a 3 or 4 lap shootout as they come off of corner number 4. I feel like we're playing 4 corners game. iRacing iFlag, green flag returns to the speedway as we hit lap number 117. And it's Dave Melson going to lead them down to turn number 1 and 2. But here comes Ricky LeDuc. He's going to look to the low side off the exit of the 2.
Yeah, LeDuc wants to win there in that number 96 machine. 13 to Dave Melson, able to hold him off here into turn number 3. LeDuc goes to the outside immediately. In that number 96 machine, he has made some passes up top. Gets some momentum build up. Can he do anything here into turn number 1 so far? Dave Melson holding on. LeDuc up top still. In that number 96 machine, nothing being had so far as Melson being able to fend off the charging number 96.
Yeah, doing a great job. And next time around, I think we're getting 2 to go for a starter stand. So 2 more trips around for the driver of car number 13, Dave Melson. Can he hold off a hard-charging Ricky LeDuc? Can Brendan Spadafora hold on for a podium run here tonight on the network? He's doing a great job holding up DJ Hinsky and Jeff Stakanis, who are our top 5. But we're going to race for the lead. LeDuc going to look up high off of turn number 4, Todd. We're coming to the white flag. 1 more trip around the speedway for car number 13 of Dave Melson.
Yeah, here comes the 96. Almost contact there. Way to stay off him. Ricky LeDuc almost made contact there. He was sliding up into that 13 machine, able to stay off of him. Back down to the bottom side. Here it comes for everything. Here a little bit of contact with Melson off the corner. Melson tops the wall. It's going to be Ricky LeDuc taking down the win. Who said they were going to rough each other up there, Phil? It is going to be Ricky LeDuc in the number 96 machine. Then the 13 of Dave Melson. Brendan Spadafora going to finish up 3rd. Jeff Stakanis, DJ Hinsky, Rich Knappick, MT Johnson, Herman Reese, Danny Rubino, and Fred Hill round out your top 10 here at Thompson Speedway. But those 2 drivers letting each other have it there. Last corner, last lap. The number 96 of Ricky LeDuc taking down the victory. The 13 of Dave Melson coming up just a little bit short there at the end of it. And Brendan Spadafora. We're going to talk to all 3 of those guys down in BladeNote.com Victory Lane.
Yes, we will. That'll be coming up here in just a couple of brief seconds live on your source for esports racing. So give us about 30 seconds. We'll get these guys all screened out, and we'll talk to our top 3 on the post-race show brought to you by BladeNote.com. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. It's Gent Nation.
Gent Nation, thank you so much for the support. Michelle, Joel, Bobby, I know he's going to watch this after this. You know, I'm thankful. Thank you so much. And check out Full Throttle with the Gent on YouTube for your NASCAR unofficial news.
No, it's as good as JC stuff out there. This guy, don't let him sell you short. That show is awesome. Full Throttle with the Gent over right here on YouTube. Check him out. That is our old friend, Mr. Brendan Spadafora. A great 3rd place run. We'll let him get back to it. I'm sure him and I will shoot the breeze here for a little bit post-race. So we'll let Brendan get back to it, and we'll walk a bit further down here. And it's been such a long time since we talked to the driver of car number 13, Dave Melson. Dave, it is so good to see your name in the race server again tonight, and a good 2nd place run. But you and Ricky, man, you guys raced hard for the win. Unfortunately, he had that space down low into 3 and 4, and I can't say he used up a little bit, but I think your car may have been a little bit better there. But tell us all about it.
Yeah, at the last few restarts when I was in front of Ricky, I know he's always usually a little quicker. All I did was just try to figure out what line he might take in the corners and try to block off the lane just so he couldn't get a run. But that last corner in 3 and 4, I knew he was going to go low, and I just not that good low, and I just couldn't get low enough to keep his nose from getting in there. We bumped a bit, and that's racing, man. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was so great to see a lot of the old names we've covered for so long, yourself and Ricky, and so much to see the guys like Fred Hill out here on a one-night rare appearance for him. So, Dave, so good to talk to you once again. Tell us about the racetrack here tonight. We were slowed by 11 yellow flags here at Thompson, but a place that is always very notorious for tire wear. Fresh tires always make a difference here. You guys had a little bit older tires than the guys did behind you. How much was track mission the key here tonight, knowing tires were going to wear the way they did and the way the cautions kind of felt for you guys?
Well, I pitted, I think, with just somewhere around 50, just under 50 to go the last time. And I just kind of bided my time because I knew from that point on I wasn't going to pit again. And I just tried to take it easy on the tires the best I could. So that was all I could do. I made my bed and I just stuck to it.
Exactly right. And that's what us race car drivers do. Dave Melson, my friend, it is so good to hear that voice again. It has been a long time. We're live tonight on the Full Velocity Racing Network. We're live on YouTube per normal there, my friend. I'm going to give you the floor one more time. A great crowd of people watching out there tonight. Give them all a shout. Say hello. And so good to talk to you again, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, well, thanks very much. I guess thank you guys and Hobo Racing there for putting this on, and it was just a total blast. I enjoyed myself.
Well, we all did as well. So good to catch up with some of these guys who's been so far with, and we go back a long ways to this gentleman right here. Car number 13, Dave Nelson, bringing that awesome number 13 car we love over here tonight live in the second position. So we have talked to third place, Brendan Spadafora. We have talked to second place, Dave Melson. There is only one more place left to go, and that is in BladeNode.com. Victory Lane, where we find driver of car number 96, Ricky LeDuc in Victory Lane, one touchdown.
The stuff ready, rocked and roll, because those fireworks, man, they were driving me nuts. Could not figure out how to get them off or tell these people to stop so I could actually hear Ricky down there. But a fantastic race. It took a little bit for you to get to the lead, Ricky. Actually leading the last lap there through corners 3 and 4. That was the most important lap. Able to get it by the number 13 of Dave Melson and take down the victory here tonight. Tell us about your race.
It was a fun race. It was a stout field, that's for sure. And started off good, ran right on the tail of the 41. He's fast, and just kind of took it easy. I mean, for a minute there, I started trying to race him hard. We got in some flat traffic, and that was really fun. But then I can't really actually remember. I think it was we pitted, and I got a EOL, so I had to make my way back up through the field. So yeah, it was really fun. And then just that last lap there, tried to make it happen, and
Hey, you made it happen there on the last lap. Like I said, the last corner, 3 and 4. It might have been a little bit of contact there, but that's short track racing at its finest there. And Dave Melson knew that you were faster than him. He always says that you're faster than him when you're behind him. And so you were obviously inside his head here tonight, Ricky, able to take down the victory and fantastic fashion, to say the least. I mean, I know Boyer had some bad luck there, upside down on his lid and doing some roof surfing, but you're able to take down the victory here tonight. I mean, what a great race.
yeah, no, it was. I mean, it's hard to pass. So I was right there with Dave at the end, and then I mean, I just tried to make it work a couple times. Bottom's really hard, but I stuck it in there, and I think I felt like I drove it in too hard, but then I look back, I'm like, hey, it was actually, I held my line decently, but I honestly think a little bit of net code's what made the bit of the contact there. This is tough. I don't ever like to pass like that, but it was last lap, and sometimes you gotta try to get in there, you know.
Well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do there, Ricky. But I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours. Take care. We'd like to thank here on the Full Velocity Racing Network.
Yeah, you guys for sure. Full Velocity, Hobo Racing for having us, STR guys over. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool deal getting a good field of cars. You know, more cars than typically we race with. So, and we had some good green flag racing there too. So honestly, thank everybody for that race, for running pretty decently clean and making it fun and not completely full of cautions. We had quite a few, but it could have been way worse. So honestly, thanks to all them guys. And then yeah, Hobo Racing and STR for letting me know a little last minute about the race too.
Oh, I know we're in NASCAR 2003, Ricky, but how's your iRacing going? Got to see a race with you another night.
Yeah, I've been doing not a whole lot, like one little private league sorta on Monday nights, but honestly, I do a lot of been focusing on the real car stuff. So I do iRacing when I can, and just stick to my leagues here and that one league more than a lot of it. But I'm not a fan of the dirt stuff lately, so.
We caught you. We caught you out there last night, man. It looked like a tough go. I think we caught you in a race in Lima Land. You had a couple of our buddies in there. It was tough sledding, but how different is it to transition from a sim like NR 2003 over to iRacing? I know it gave me a bit of a hard time, and I completely suck over there. Just about as good as I suck over here. What was it like for you transitioning between the two?
It took a minute. This game is more extensive as how you enter the corner and how you pick like not how you pick up, but where you pick up the throttle. I mean, there's a lot more grip with this. iRacing is very right foot heavy, I guess you should say. Like it really counts on your right foot coming out of the corner. One of the first cars I kind of did a league with was asphalt sprints, and I mean you're quarter throttle sometimes down the straightaway, and you're just gonna spin out. So really, iRacing, the biggest thing there was, well, for one, you're in. I don't run in car on NR 2003, so there you're forced to run that, which I think makes you a better racer.
Preach it away. I completely agree, Ricky. But my friend, always good to talk to you. Good to see you out doing some great things, and good to see you out here with a bunch of old friends out here tonight with the STR and Hobo guys. So congratulations, it's been a great win. Sorry to jump on Todd there, but I had to ask, man. I see what you guys have been up to. Great job as always, man. Great to talk to you once again.
Thank you. This is like my first TV win, so I've never really had an interview, so I appreciate you guys.
It's all good, man. That's really good. And well, how about that, Todd? For a guy that we've gone back so far with, a guy that we saw win a lot of races over the years.
Oh yeah.
His first win on TV. That's tough to do nowadays. We go back and look. Where's this guy's? Ricky's never won in the airways before. I can't believe it.
Well, and to pick up his first win on the historic Full Velocity Racing Network, you know, and as we go down through, we got a lot of history. DRTV being some wins. So yeah, we've seen him in a lot of competition, picking up his first win. Heck, that's fantastic to see him pick up his first win. And anytime, hopefully, his real racing going really well too. There, Phil is. You know, we know that's real racing season, and I know I got to get prepared for that tomorrow night and get locked and loaded because man, we got a full field for tomorrow night, and awesome day for Afton Motorsports Park. It's no rain in sight, Phil. Wow, can you imagine? Fantastic.
If you're out near a racetrack, I don't care if it's asphalt or pavement. If they are running on a Friday night, support short track racing, support local racing.
Yes,
Let's make
indeed.
it all great again. Absolutely, we can't say it enough. Support local short tracks, grassroots racing, guys. That's where the superstars come from. Even a guy like Ryan Priest coming home with Thompson last night, picking up a win. Always a great thing there. Got to thank all you out there watching tonight via YouTube Live. Got to thank the guys over here at Hobo. Great to see the guys at STR, this awesome challenge race. Got to thank guys like Martin Karch for his help behind the scenes. Got to thank Jack Truitt, Ron Piles, Brett Rolls. And them guys hit one out of the park earlier tonight. I heard over at Cyber Thunder. Can't wait to go back and see how that one ended. Got to thank my brother Todd. Got to thank our sponsors, of course, here on the network. Hanover Record Service, iRacing Flag, Voiles Trucking, BladeNode.com, South Texas Speedway, Motstar Productions, TDR Racing League, Hard Motorsports, Evil One Graphics, Trash Panda Graphics, and Full Throttle with the Gent with our buddy Brendan over on YouTube. For Todd, I am Phil. Thank you so much for watching here tonight. A very fun and special night of Full Velocity TV on your source for esports racing, the Full Velocity Racing Network. Check us out, fullvelocitytv.com.
Good night.